Hello everyone, and welcome back to the studio. You are tuning in to episode 3 of module 4 of the Blueprint for Effortless English. I am your co-host, Ben.
And I am Anna. Welcome back, everyone. We are moving right along through module 4, our real-world architecture phase, and the progress you are all making in your professional communication is just outstanding.
It really is. We kicked off this module by teaching you how to code switch. You learned how to upgrade your casual vocabulary into polished office speak, and how to soften your commands so you sound like a team player instead of a dictator.
Then, in episode 2, we took you into the boardroom. We gave you the conversational armor you need to survive high-pressure meetings. You learned how to interject professionally, how to defend your projects under heavy fire, and how to buy yourself time when someone asks you a difficult question.
You learned how to hold your ground, but holding your ground is the defensive skill. Today, we are shifting to offense. We are talking about the holy grail of business communication. Today, we are diving deep into persuasion and influence.
Before we teach you the psychological phrasing native speakers use to get exactly what they want, we have our usual quick favor to ask. If you are serious about building your career and you want to support this 50-episode journey, please hit that like button and subscribe to the English Chatcast channel.
Your support keeps the conversational engine running, and it helps us reach thousands of other professionals who want to completely master the English language. Thank you for being the best community out there.
Let us get right into it, Ben. Persuasion is a terrifying concept for a lot of English learners. They think persuasion means being aggressive. They picture a sleazy car salesman trying to force someone to buy something they do not actually need.
Or they think persuasion is a purely logical battle. They assume that if they just build a PowerPoint presentation with enough data, enough charts, and enough undeniable facts, the other person will magically agree with them.
But human beings are not robots. Data is important, absolutely, but data alone does not change minds. Emotion changes minds. Trust changes minds. If you want to influence someone in a corporate setting, you cannot just attack them with a spreadsheet. You have to guide them.
And for an English learner, the vocabulary of guiding someone is very different from the vocabulary of forcing someone. If you use the wrong phrasing, you trigger their defensive reflexes. The moment their walls go up, your brilliant idea is dead.
Today, we are going to teach you the 3 linguistic pillars of native influence. We will show you how to pitch new ideas, how to frame your arguments to appeal to your colleagues, and how to build a consensus without ever sounding manipulative.
Let us start with pillar number 1. We call this planting the seed. This is the absolute best way to introduce a brand new, potentially controversial idea to your boss or your team.
The biggest mistake people make when pitching an idea is the grand reveal. They walk into their manager's office and say, "I have a new strategy. We need to stop doing our current process and start doing my new process immediately."
When you phrase it like that, you are challenging the status quo directly. You are basically telling your boss that their current way of doing things is wrong. That creates instant resistance. Even if your idea is objectively better, their ego will force them to reject it.
So instead of throwing a heavy rock at them, you plant a tiny seed in their brain. You use hypothetical framing. You introduce the idea as a casual curiosity rather than a strict demand.
The absolute best native phrase for planting the seed is, "What if we explored the idea of?"
What if we explored the idea of updating the software? Listen to how gentle that is. You are not saying we must update it. You are just inviting them to explore a hypothetical universe where the software is updated. It feels incredibly safe.
Another brilliant phrase for planting the seed is, "I was playing around with the idea of."
Oh, I love that one. I was playing around with the idea of restructuring the weekly meeting. The verb playing implies that this is a low-stakes creative thought. It is not a rigid corporate mandate. It is just a fun thought experiment.
You can also use the phrase, have we ever considered? Have we ever considered shifting our marketing budget toward video content? This is a great collaborative question. It honors their historical knowledge of the company while gently suggesting a new path.
When you plant the seed using these phrases, you are not asking for an immediate yes or no. You are just putting the concept on their radar. You let the seed sit in their brain for a few days.
And here is the true psychological magic of planting the seed. If you do it correctly, a week later, your boss will come to you and say, "You know, I was thinking we should probably update that software." They will actually believe it was their own idea.
And that is the ultimate victory in corporate influence. When people believe an idea is their own, they will fight incredibly hard to make it succeed. You win by letting them take the credit.
Now, let us move to pillar number 2, the we framework. Once the seed is planted and the conversation is actually happening, you have to choose your pronouns very carefully.
The fastest way to destroy your influence is to overuse the words I and you. If you say, I want you to give me more funding so I can finish my project, you are drawing a massive line in the sand. You're creating a transaction between two opposing sides.
You have to erase that line. You have to linguistically pull the other person onto your side of the table. You replace I and you with we and our. You create a shared vision.
Instead of saying, how can you help me finish this? You say, how can we get this across the finish line together?
Get this across the finish line is a phenomenal business idiom. It implies teamwork, momentum, and a shared victory. When you ask how we can do it, you are making them a co-owner of the problem.
Let us look at a budget negotiation. You do not say, I need more money from my department. You say, if we align our resources, our best path forward is to increase the budget for this quarter.
If we align our resources, that is such a polished, persuasive phrase. It sounds highly strategic, and saying, our best path forward makes the solution feel inevitable. It is not just what you want, it is the objective best path for everyone.
Using the we framework is crucial when you are trying to convince a coworker who does not report to you. You cannot order them around. You have to build consensus.
It seems like we both agree that the current system is broken. What does a successful rollout look like from your perspective?
Asking what success looks like from their perspective is an absolute masterstroke. It proves that you value their expertise. People are infinitely more willing to help you if they feel like their specific needs are being respected in your plan.
Which brings us to pillar number 3. This is the heavy artillery of persuasion. We call it future pacing.
Future pacing is a technique where you force the listener's brain to travel forward in time. You make them vividly imagine the outcome of the decision you want them to make.
Logic tells people what to do, but emotion makes them actually do it. Future pacing creates that emotional drive. You can pace them toward a positive reward, or you can pace them away from a negative risk.
Let us start with the positive. The absolute best phrase for positive future pacing is, imagine if we could.
Imagine if we could automate this entire reporting process. By quarter 3, we would be saving 20 hours a week. We could finally focus on the creative strategy we have been putting off.
Do you see what Ben just did? He did not just say, automation is good. He painted a picture of a better life. He gave them the specific timeline by quarter 3, and he gave them the emotional reward, saving 20 hours and doing creative work.
You are painting a mental masterpiece. Another great positive framing phrase is, the real win here is...
The real win here is not just hitting our sales quota, it is establishing ourselves as the dominant vendor in this region. This elevates the conversation. You're telling them that your idea is bigger and more important than just basic metrics.
But sometimes a positive vision is not enough to move people. Human beings are biologically wired to avoid pain more than they are driven to seek pleasure. In the corporate world, this is called loss aversion.
Sometimes you have to use negative future pacing. You have to clearly articulate the danger of doing nothing. But again, you cannot sound aggressive or threatening. You have to sound like a trusted advisor protecting the company.
You do not say, "If you do not do my plan, we are going to fail and lose money." You use a diplomatic cushion. You say, "My concern is the risk of inaction."
My concern is the risk of inaction. That is such a high-level executive phrase. Inaction is a very formal noun. You are telling them that sitting still is actually the most dangerous choice they can make.
If we do not pivot now, we are looking at a serious bottleneck by the end of the year. "We are looking at" is a great native phrase for predicting a future scenario.
Or you could say the cost of maintaining the status quo is simply getting too high. The status quo means the way things are right now. By attacking the status quo, you create a burning platform. You make them realize they have to jump to your new idea to survive.
Let us review these 3 pillars of influence before we put them into a role play. Pillar 1. Planting the seed. What if we explored the idea of? Pillar 2. The we framework. How can we get this across the finish line? Pillar 3. Future pacing. Imagine if we could, or the risk of inaction is.
If you combine these 3 pillars, you become incredibly persuasive. You stop pushing people and you start leading them.
Let us demonstrate this with a real-world scenario. Anna and I are going to do 2 versions of a role play. Let us pretend I am a marketing manager, and I want to convince Anna, our finance director, to approve an expensive new software platform for my team.
In the first version, Ben is going to use the amateur approach. He will use direct demands, the I and you framework, and zero future pacing. Listen to how easily I reject his pitch because he triggers my defensive reflexes.
Here we go. "Hey, Anna, I need you to approve this new software for my team. The old software is terrible, and I cannot get my work done."
Ben, I looked at the pricing on that new platform, and it is way outside of our current budget. I cannot approve that expense right now.
But you do not understand. We really need it. If you do not give us the money, my team is going to miss all of our deadlines this month. You have to find the budget for it.
It is not a matter of finding the budget, Ben. The funds are not there. We are going to have to make do with the current software for the rest of the year.
And scene. That was a complete failure.
It was a disaster. Ben made it a battle between him and me. He said, "I need you to approve this." When I said no, he got defensive and threatened me by saying his team would miss deadlines. He basically tried to hold the company hostage.
It was incredibly unprofessional. I tried to use brute force, and I hit a brick wall. Now, let us rewind. Let us do version 2. This time, I am going to use the 3 pillars of influence.
Listen to how his language completely changes my emotional reaction to the exact same software request.
"Hey, Anna. Thanks for grabbing a quick coffee with me. I wanted to run something by you. Have we ever considered upgrading our analytics software to a cloud-based platform?"
I have seen a few proposals for it, Ben, but honestly, the upfront cost is just a massive hurdle for the finance department right now. It is really expensive.
I completely understand your concern regarding the upfront cost, and you are right, it is a significant investment.
My concern, however, is the risk of inaction. Right now, our team is spending 15 hours a week manually compiling data because our current system crashes constantly.
15 hours a week? I did not realize the manual workload was that heavy.
Yeah, it is a real bottleneck. The way I look at it, if we align our resources and make this upgrade now, by Q3, we are looking at a completely automated workflow. Imagine if we could redirect those 15 hours a week into actually generating new sales leads. The platform would essentially pay for itself in 6 months. How can we work together to get this approved?
That is a really compelling point, Ben. If it actually saves 15 hours of labor and boosts sales lead generation, the return on investment changes significantly. Let me crunch the numbers again this afternoon and see if we can find a path forward.
And scene. Complete night and day difference.
It was absolutely brilliant. Let us break down the exact mechanics Ben just used to manipulate my corporate psychology in the best way possible.
I did not start with a demand. I started by planting the seed. I asked, have we ever considered upgrading? It sounded like a casual inquiry, not a hostage negotiation.
When I brought up the cost, he did not argue. He used the defense tactic from episode 2. He said, I completely understand your concern regarding the cost. He validated my job as the finance director.
Then I hit her with negative future pacing. I used the exact phrase, my concern is the risk of inaction. I gave her the pain point, 15 hours of wasted time a week.
Once I felt the pain, he immediately gave me the cure. He used positive future pacing. He said, imagine if we could redirect those 15 hours into generating sales. He painted a picture of a more profitable future.
And I wrapped the entire pitch in the we framework. I did not say, I need this. I said, if we align our resources. And I finished with a collaborative question. How can we work together to get this approved?
I literally could not say no. The logic was sound, but the linguistic framing is what actually won the negotiation. He made me feel like a partner in a strategic business move, rather than an obstacle blocking his way.
That is what true influence sounds like. It is smooth, it is respectful, and it is highly strategic. When you master these phrases, you stop fighting against the current and you start steering the river.
You become the kind of person that executives listen to. You build a reputation as a visionary who knows how to bring people together and execute big ideas.
Which brings us to your mission for episode 3. We want you to start planting your own seeds.
Your homework for this week is the Seed Planting Challenge. We want you to identify one process, one tool, or one strategy at your current job that you genuinely believe needs to be improved or replaced.
Think of something that frustrates you, but that you have been too afraid to speak up about. Your mission is to introduce the idea of changing it to a coworker or a manager.
But you cannot demand a change. You must use the hypothetical framing we taught you today. Walk up to them and casually say, I was playing around with the idea of changing this process. What do you think? Or, what if we explored a different way of doing this?
Drop the seed in their mind and walk away. Watch how they react to the gentle phrasing. Notice how they do not get defensive. Let the seed grow for a few days and see if they bring it up again later.
After you drop your seed, come down into the comments section of this episode. Tell us exactly what the issue was and tell us the specific phrase you used to plant the idea. We want to read your field reports on corporate influence.
You guys are acquiring some serious executive power. You can navigate the casual world, you can survive high-pressure boardroom attacks, and now you know how to pitch brilliant ideas and build consensus.
But what happens when you are not pitching an idea, but you actually have to correct someone else's behavior? What happens when a coworker is consistently underperforming and you are the one who has to tell them to fix it?
That is one of the most delicate situations in the professional world, and that is exactly what we are covering in our next episode. In episode 4, we are talking about giving natural feedback.
We are going to show you how to deliver constructive criticism without destroying team morale. We will teach you the specific phrases native speakers use to correct mistakes politely and how to manage upward by giving feedback to your own boss.
It is all about maintaining relationships while demanding excellence. It is a crucial leadership skill, and you absolutely will not want to miss it.
But for today, focus on guiding people, not forcing them. Plant the seed, use the we framework, and always pace them into the future.
I am Ben.
And I am Anna. If you are ready to start influencing your colleagues and pitching your best ideas today, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let us keep mastering this real-world architecture together. Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, learning English with us is
A piece of cake. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the English Chatcast.